All right, this will be the most interesting, strange, unorthodox Facebook Live that I've ever done, but I'm doing it for a reason. This is a direct, specific message to just one person. If this is a specific message to just one person, then why in the world am I doing it on Facebook Live? Well, I'm doing it on Facebook Live because the person who I am speaking with, we were supposed to meet today, and we were not able to do that because the enemy did what he did and put some circumstances that made that not possible. And while I was going to have this conversation on the phone, I want to be able to document this conversation because you might have some things going on around you right now in the room where you are, and I wanted to be sure that you could hear me. I also want you to have this so that you can go back to it and listen to it maybe a couple of times. I also want you to be able to share it with people who you care about, especially directly in your situation, so that you can let them know who I am and who I am in your life and how I'm continuing and attempting to help you. I also want this as documentation for when you get through this storm and you look back on this challenge and you achieve all the things that you wanted to achieve and more. You can look back on this time and say, yeah, I remember that day. So once again, for everybody else who's watching this, either live or on a recording, you may not know what I'm talking about or what's going on, but this is for one specific person. And brother, you know who you are because we were supposed to meet today at 12 o'clock at Land's End. And once again, the enemy threw some stuff at you. But as you've done many times, you have trusted me to share what's going on in your life, and not the way that most people do it in the term of here's what's going on in my life, blah 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 blah, and feel sorry for me, but just in that trusting way that you do with a trusted friend or with a brother who I am. And I asked you a very important question which really prompted this conversation. The question that I asked you most recently was, how are you feeling emotionally right now? And you answered a different question, which was to basically kind of give another update on what's going on. And you got a lot of stuff going on, whether it's short-term financial challenges, which you didn't even mention, but I kind of know what I know. But are health challenges for yourself and people you care about, and that's happening on both fronts. Or whether it's relationship challenges and everything's going well, but we all have what we have. And when you answered the question, not the one I asked, but the one that you wanted to answer or maybe thought I was asking, I asked you the question again. How are you feeling right now while you're going through all of this other stuff? How are you feeling emotionally? And I think your exact words were, you feel overwhelmed, you feel low energy. I can't remember the other word that you said, somewhat having to do with stress. And you've been following me for a while, you've known me for a minute, and here's what I want you to understand, my brother. All is well. I love you, I believe in you, and this too shall pass. You've shared some stuff that you've been through, and I know that's only the scratch, but here's what I know. I know what a champion looks like, and you are a champion. All that you've been through, whether it's heroically serving our country, experiencing what you're experiencing, doing what you're doing, survive what you survived through, if you can get through that, you can get through this. I know that for a fact. You can get through this. All the things you've already been through, this is a walk in the park. Because you knew it was coming. You know the enemy always throws something at you. We talked about it before, we'll talk about it again, whether it's short-term financial challenges, whether it's health challenges for yourself or people you care about, whether it's relationship challenges, maybe spiritual challenges. They're going to come at you from all different sides, and it's only going to challenge those like you and me who are up to something great. So I want you to understand. I want you to feel the vibration. I want you to understand that I got you on this, man. I got you. And I know I'm not the only one, but I want you to know that I got you. I asked you if I'd share this story. You said no. If I have, it either didn't sink in or you don't remember, or maybe I didn't. But either way, this whole situation reminds me of a story of a man and his son. And it's a young boy. And this son absolutely idolizes, worships his father. He is his hero. He is his champion. He does his best to impress him, to live up to his expectations. He just absolutely loves his father. And on one strange day, the father woke him up early in the morning. It's a little boy. Woke the young man up early in the morning and said, "Son, let's go." Son said, "Where are we going, Father?" He said, "Don't worry, just put your clothes on, let's go." Son rushed and put his clothes on, and it was early in the morning, right before the sun came up, and they started walking down the road. Father didn't say a word. Son already knew how things worked. He didn't say anything either. They just walked in silence. We walked down this long road. And way down, the son could see something at the bottom of a hill. Couldn't tell what it was, but they just kept walking. And as he got closer and closer, he realized that it was this huge cart with all of this heavy stuff on it, and a couple of wheels on the side, and it's the bottom of the hill pointed toward the direction of the peak of the hill. Son had no idea what was going on. The father was still quiet. And they walked up to that big cart, and the father, for the first time after he woke his son up, he said, "Son, do you trust me?" The son said, "Yes, Father." The father said, "I want you to do exactly what I tell you, and everything will be okay. I'm going to ask you one more time, do you trust me?" The son said, "Yes, Father." And the father looked at the cart that was right next to him. It was several times the size and definitely several times the weight of the little boy. And he said, "Son, I want you to get in front of this cart. I want you to grab the two handles. Actually, we won't even do it that way. We'll get you behind it. Get behind the cart. And I want you to use all of your strength and push this cart up this hill." And before the son could complain, he said, "Don't say a word, do what I said." And the son positions himself behind the cart and starts pushing as hard as he can. This cart does not move an inch. And he's pushing and he's pushing. The son saying, "Father, it's impossible. Father, it's impossible. Son, do what I said." And the son is trying, he's trying, it's not moving. His arms are aching, his legs are shaking, he's sweating, and he's trying. He says, "Father, it's too heavy. Son, do what I said." And he's pushing, nothing happens. Eventually, out of frustration, out of exhaustion, the son literally collapses at his father's feet. But he doesn't feel bad at that moment because he knows that this whole process, this whole exercise was for a purpose, and now he was going to learn what this whole experience was all about. And he looked up at his father with those eyes of what was it all about. And the father said something that absolutely crushed this young man's spirit. The father said, "Son, I have never been more disappointed in you in my entire life. I asked you to do one simple thing, and you didn't do it. And here you are, a failure." And the son's world just started spinning around and around, and he just didn't understand, because obviously he did the best that he could. He just didn't understand. And the son said, "Father, I did exactly what you did. You saw me do everything I could to move this up the hill, but it was too heavy." The father said, "What was the one simple instruction that I gave you?" And the son said, "You told me to use all of my strength." And the father looked back down at his son and said, "Son, you never asked me to help you." Now, why do I share this story with you, my brother? I share it with you because I'm challenging you. I'm asking you. I dare you to use all of your strength. You've carried so much weight on your shoulders these years, with your wife, with your children, with your business, with your unit, all the things you carried so much weight on your shoulders. And it seems as if, maybe I'm wrong, it seems as if you've been trying to do it all by yourself. And whether it's me, great. If it's somebody else, that's great too. But this is not about you going through this all by yourself. I know you have so many people out there who love you like I do, probably more, who believe in you like I do, probably more, who are there for you every single day, whether it's in the physical or in the spirit, every single day. And I'm offering you, I'm challenging you to use all of your strength, because you got this. It's just a short-term challenge, and you are a champion, you are a warrior, you are a winner, you are a father, you are a veteran, you are a champion, and you got this. So what's the whole point? Because I don't even know all the stuff that you're going through, even though you share with me a lot. And you've seen it before with how you've seen me live my life and how you've seen me do my posts. I'm not saying that what you've been through and what you're going through is not tough, and possibly the biggest challenge you've ever had in your life. I'm saying it's possible for you to separate what's going on around you with how you feel emotionally. As I may have shared before, I've gone through some stuff. I've experienced some things. And I realized that I was allowing other people and outside forces to determine how I felt emotionally. Every single day I rode the roller coaster, every single day. The weather was beautiful like it is right now, clear blue skies, warm, I was happy. The weather was gloomy, I felt sad. Somebody was nice to me, I felt good. Somebody was mean to me, I felt bad. My sports team won, I felt good for some reason. If they lost, I was devastated. Made no sense. Up and down, up and down, up and down, every single day. And after 50 long years, about 55 now, after all these years, I realized that it was time for me to stop and take control on how I felt emotionally. I knew that I could not control what was going on around me. I couldn't control that. But I could control how I felt, what I focused on, and how I reacted to the situation. So I understood what was going on, that I was allowing outside forces and other people to control how I felt. I realized that I had a decision to make, that I could make that decision on how I could feel and react and what I could focus on. And that's really when the journey began, as you know, because I realized that feeling good and being happy is a skill. As soon as I realized that being happy and feeling good was a skill, it was game over. I was liberated. I was as light as a feather. I realized that I had found the answer that nobody ever taught me. Because every single one of us has at least one, probably many, skills that we are good at. Maybe it's programming, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's playing basketball, maybe it's playing music, maybe it's speaking, maybe it's raising a family, maybe it's this, maybe that. Every single person has a skill that they have become proficient at and mastered. And that means that all they did was decide what they wanted, and they did it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, hopefully with a coach who's done it before or a mentor who can take them under their wing. But they did something over and over again, and they learned it, they became good at it, and they mastered it. And once I realized that feeling good and being happy was a skill, it was over. And from that moment, I started to study how to feel good and be happy. And I surrounded myself with positive words, positive images, positive emotions, positive people, positive experiences in the physical and the spirit all the time, all the time, all the time. And I'm challenging you, the one person who I'm actually speaking to. Once again, I'm doing it in this format because who knows, maybe somebody else is going through something too. Maybe this message, even though it's for one specific person and you know who you are, maybe you can benefit from part of my story and part of this journey, and you'll be able to apply this to your life to feel good. Another story I'll just remind you, and I'll close it out with this, and I'll give you a call. The real reason why I wanted to meet with you today was not what you thought I was going to talk about. It was to give you a hug. It was to look you in your eyes, and it was to let you know that I love you as a brother, and that I believe in you, and that I got you on this. When I say this, on your journey. So here's another story for you. It's the story of a man who was going on a walk in a countryside. None of these stories are original, by the way. He's going for a walk down the countryside, and it's one of those perfect days. The weather is perfect, the sun is shining, and he's just going on a long walk down this long path, and there's nothing for as far as the eye can see, and he's just walking and reflecting and thinking and just feeling and experiencing everything. And he's walking and he's walking and he's walking and he's walking and he's walking, and then he's not paying attention to anything. He's just walking. And all of a sudden, he falls into a hole. It's a deep hole. And immediately he knows that he is in some big time trouble, because he hasn't seen anybody for hours. He looked in every single direction and he couldn't see a thing. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he falls into this deep hole. And he knew that this was not just any regular hole, that the walls were slick. It was deep. He looked up. It was almost so deep down, it was dark. And he knew that he was in trouble. He knew that there was going to have to be a miracle to save him. But he was believing. He had faith. So he started yelling, "Help, help, help. Somebody help me. I fell into this hole. Help, help, help." And he was yelling out at the top of his voice for minutes, for hours, and nothing. His throat's getting hoarse. The sun's starting to go down. It's getting cold. He knows that he might have had the accident of the last accident he was ever going to have in his life. And he sat down and started reflecting. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And he looked up and he saw somebody looking down into the hole. And just a wave of happy and gratefulness went over him. He looked up. He didn't know the person. He realized that it was a doctor. And he looked up and he said, "Doctor, doctor, please help me. I've fallen down into the hole. Can you help me? Can you throw something down? Can you get some help?" Doctor didn't say a word, surveyed the situation, surveyed the gentleman, took out a piece of paper from his pocket, wrote something down, threw it in there. It was a prescription. He wrote a prescription, and then he disappeared. The guy in the hole is absolutely, let's call the guy in the, well, I won't give him a name. The guy in the hole, he just didn't know what was going on. That was his miracle. The miracle was somebody, some way, walked in that area and found the hole and heard him screaming and looked down, and he was his only hope. And this person, without a word, threw a prescription down and walked away. He knew he was in trouble now. But he actually had some hope now, because if one person can walk by, maybe somebody else can. So he starts screaming again. His voice is almost completely gone. It's getting dark. It's starting to get cold. But he starts screaming, "Help, help, help, help me, help me. I fell down this hole. I can't get out. Can you help me? Help." Nobody. Nothing. Nothing. And he looks up again, and somebody else is looking down the hole. This time it's a pastor. Oh, this person's going to save me now. The guy looked up in the hole and said, "Pastor, thank you so much. I prayed for you. I prayed that somebody would send you to save me. Please save me. Throw something down, get some help, get me out of here, Pastor. Thank you so much." Pastor looked down, looked up, said a silent prayer, and disappeared. Now he knows that's it. This is it. He's in the hole. It's over. And he got quiet. No more yells, no more screams. He knew that whatever was going to happen was going to happen, and that maybe this was it. So he just sat down, curled up because it was really cold, it was getting dark, and he just relaxed. He relaxed. He was at peace. And he looked up one last time before he was going to shut his eyes. And he saw a friend. Friend's name was Stephen. And he looked up and he saw Stephen. And Stephen said, "Hey bro, what you doing, man? What you doing down there?" And in a hoarse voice, he said, "I fell down this hole, man. I don't know what's going on. I had all these, a doctor came by and didn't help me. A pastor came by and didn't help. Will you help? Can you do?" And in the middle of the sentence, Stephen jumped down into the hole, and now they're both stuck. And the guy just didn't know what was going on because he appreciated now he had some company, but he looked over at his friend and he said, "Stephen, what did you do? All you had to do was throw something down and now we're both stuck, man. What did you do, man?" And in all calmness and in all smiling, Stephen just said, "I've been down in this hole before, though, bro, and I know the way out. I've been down the hole before. I know the way out. I can't tell you how much I love you as a brother. I can't tell you how much I believe in you. I know that all is well. I know that you're going to get through this. I know that your loved one is going to get through this. I know that your children are going to have absolutely amazing, happy and grateful, positive, significant lives. I know that your business venture is going to knock it out of the park and positively impact all those young people and all those young at heart people that you're looking to work with and help. I know all that's going to happen. And you do too. You know that everything that you want and everything that you desire and everything that you were put on this planet for, the purpose of your life, you know that it's going to happen. May not know when, may not know with whom, may not know how, but you know that it's going to happen, and you know that you're willing to do the work as long as it's necessary, as hard as it's necessary, until it's done. And when you know that you're willing to do the work as hard as necessary, as long as necessary until it's done, it's a wrap. You got this. So with that, I'm looking into the sun, so I can't see the people who may or may not be on this. And for those of you who came midway, this may be strange, but this is a specific message for a specific brother who I love with all my heart, who's going through some stuff. And I thought that this would be the best way so that you could see my eyes, you could feel my vibration, and that you could know that all is well and I have much love to you. So you take care, you take charge. Don't you dare let the enemy prevent us from staying connected, because he's a liar and he doesn't know what we know. So you take care, my brother. And for those of you who happen to hop on here live and who happen to may see this in the recording, much love to you. I love you. I believe you. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.